Thank you very much to Mr. Zapin for introducing these amazing solutions to us. So we are looking forward to see it in real life. Distinguished guests, up next we have another guest speaker, the Vice President of Malaysian Photovoltaic Industry Association, Professor Sulaiman Shaari. In the topic that he is going to bring to us is core competency in photovoltaic system. What is what we need? Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Professor Sulaiman Shaari.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to share with you today what I believe is the thing that really matters at the end of the day when anyone talks about solar photovoltaics, or PV we call it, from the perspective of an educator in the field. So, to start with, the kinetics of my talk will revolve around three main themes. First, I'd like to talk about delivering promises. Secondly, I'd like to share a little bit about the interfacing of the technology via education. And thirdly, I'd like to share some thoughts I have about building knowledge on the technology using science. Before I do that, I'd like to share my personal statement. I believe in the following things. First, we must deliver whatever we promise to whomever we promised, safely, and at the end of the day, increasing the confidence of the person that we are dealing with, that we have promised. And I'd like to share the strategy of doing this. First, we should instill the awareness in the heart and the mind. We should enlighten the decision makers on the impact of their decisions, and we should cultivate the competence for quality in all aspects. Doing this, we have to have a philosophy. And my favorite philosophy, ladies and gentlemen, is do it right from the beginning, not later. At the end of the day, it all boils down to the what's we need. No matter how good the technology of a PV system that you have, no matter how excellent the products are, at the end of the day, what matters is the what's. And these are the what's that we must deliver. If you look at the slides I'm showing over here now, it shows a very brief snapshot of the progression of PV applications. Looking at the leftmost photo, the first impactful application of PV technology was on the space satellite. That was way back in 1958, roughly. And coming from there, you go to the top of the mountain of Mount Kinabalu in Sabah. That's where some of our Malaysian people actually went up the mountain to install some equipment to measure the seismic activities. So you have PV coming from the extraterrestrial to the top of the mountain. And the next photo on the right, you can see a large-scale solar, LSS we call it, PV systems in Bidor, built by Malaysians as well. And this is already on the ground. And as you go further, you can see on the bottom right, the largest floating solar PV systems in the world, which is actually in Panji district in China. So you can see the progression actually of the technology which started in space, and then you can find them being applied on the top of a mountain, and then you can see that it's actually being placed on the surface of the earth, and then you can see that it's going on the surface of the sea or the water body. I'm waiting for the day, ladies and gentlemen, when we see PV submerged underwater. Let's see if that works. Now, we move on. The slide shows the neat work done on existing systems with the right cultivation of skills and attitude. Some of the experiences are shared here. The photo on the top left shows the training facility that we are engaged with at the University Technology Mara, one of the accredited training centers by the government of Malaysia via SEDA, which is the Sustainable Energy Development Authority. the body that has been entrusted to conduct trainings in PV systems in the country. Next, the photo on the top right shows an existing rooftop PV installed at one of the offices in Malaysia. This happens to be the office of the president of the Malaysian Photovoltaic Industry Association. I'm proud to say that he is one of our members, and who has been contributing a lot to the PV industry, and he's now the president of the association. He's actually one of my ex-students. I'm happy to say that. And the photo on the bottom right shows a 150 megawatt floating solar, again in Panji district, China. And the photo on the bottom left shows a 1 megawatt rooftop PV system, again in Malaysia. So you can see PV systems can be done, can be designed, installed, and performed properly anywhere in the world. The next slide shows a snapshot of the string inverter 8-20 KTL model. It is one of the latest technology, and we all must understand it is most important that the designer knows how to extract the real data, the correct data from the data sheet to get the maximum benefit from the equipment. Issues relating to local climate, standards, codes, best practices must be respected and adhered to no matter where you are, no matter which country, which region. This is well known and it must be respected. These photographs show some of the more unfortunate situations that can be avoided by proper education, proper planning, and respectful implementation activities. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't see this kind of photos anywhere, not just anywhere, only in this session, because these are real and they aren't supposed to be shared. But you have the opportunity to see them here for reasons that I'd like to share with you to stress the importance of core competency in PV systems. More photographs showing the urgency and criticalness of educating the people, not just in technical, but financial matters, legal matters, and especially attitude. These are matters that are what sometimes you call the soft skills in doing things. It's not just the technical and the financial, but the person actually doing it. This is also very important. These are some graphs and some charts showing the real performance of PV systems in the field. These are actually extracted from real raw data from systems working. And some of the plots, some of the graphs you can see there shows the data plots in blue. And these are the points that what's supposed to be there. These are the points, these are the data points that was planned and predicted to behave. However, from these slides, you can see that there are red dots, and these red dots actually show the system's actual behavior in the field. So you can see that there is a discrepancy or a disparity between the red dots and the blue dots. Again, the blue dots are the ones that we thought is going to happen, but the red dots are the ones that actually happen. And from here, if you look deeply, you can see a lot of information that can be gathered from these kinds of studies. And lessons learned would be very useful to improve in all aspects of the technology. And there's a graph there, there's a chart there showing a bar chart that shows the poor performance of the system, and that's the red bar. The green bar shows it's excellent, the yellow bar shows it's okay. But there are some missing bars that show the system is out. So we need all this kind of information to improve. After all that's been said and done, in essence, where are the watts? The user, as promised, must not be disappointed because they have been promised the watts. The industry must live up to its good name to sustain the business and the industry. The government must appear to be fulfilling its promises because they are accountable to the users who eventually vote them. And the important questions we should ask, what are the lessons learned? Having learned all these lessons, where do we go from here? What do we do? Where are the whats? Ladies and gentlemen, remember this. The end game is to deliver and fulfill promises with ensured safety and increased confidence for all parties. This must always be in the hearts and minds of the people working in PV. One effective and long-lasting strategy that has been tested time and again is via education. To make progress, we need to be educated in all aspects, and we must work together across boundaries and beliefs. We must all include all parties and all sectors. At the same time, in educating, we need to respect and consider different goals, different needs, different types of users, different climates and expectations, and others. As an example, at the Asian Photovoltaic Industry Association, or in short APBI, we continuously promote education on PV and share much information on market trends, technology trajectories, and scientific efforts. APBI actually has more than 300 members who come from many countries, and many are world-class players in PV. They are manufacturers, they are EPCC companies, they are research institutions and organizations all around the world, mostly from Asia. I believe we need to move forward for PV via 4 packages. First, institutional package. Second, educational package. Third, market package. And fourth, technical package. The list of activities that can be thought into these 4 clusters are listed in the slide, as you can see. Nevertheless, all of the above involve training in one way or another. Competency, that's what the key word is. Training in competency. For example, in Malaysia, I take the case where we have the Malaysian Standards for PV. Currently, we have almost 30 numbers of Malaysian Standards on PV, and these are documents that are dynamic. We need inputs from all walks of life, all players who actually give us input directly from the field, and we can move on from there, we improve. So these are pictures of some of the standards that we use in Malaysia at the moment. We also need training on technical and non-technical matters on competency on PV, not just technical, but others as well. And there are a number of training modules conducted by the Malaysian Photovoltaic Industry Association. We cover trainings, we offer training for professionals in terms of technical, legal, financial, assurance, auditors, and the masses as well. So we try to cover as much spectrum, as wide a spectrum as possible, so that we don't miss anyone. At the moment, MPIA has nearly 120 members, and members come from many facets of the business, technical, legal, finance, insurance, and others. We have advisors, we have people coming from the international companies as well, who actually have businesses in Malaysia. So these are all MPI members, and they play an active role in moving and pushing the industry forward. There's a lot of information on training modules conducted by MPIA. So this is a sample list. You can go through them, and you can ask us more information about these trainings. And the APBI has also been conducting various types of training by expert speakers from around the world, from industries and businesses. And we've been doing this since 2019. So this is at the international level. And we currently conduct training programs for PV for different entities of groups from all around the world. And we are actively engaging with others as well, from other continents as well. Ladies and gentlemen, having done so much in this area, having gone so far from the terrestrial all the way down to the marine surface, we all need to celebrate our progress and success stories so more people are enlightened. We need to increase awareness and we need to deliver promises. After all, simply put, awareness is the start of anything big to come. Once we are aware, then we have the determination to do it. As a closing remark, the Zapin of 1,000 langkah begins with the first few moves. For those not familiar with Zapin, it is actually a local Malay dance. And langkah means step. So basically, the dance of the Zapin of 1,000 steps begins with the first few moves. Now let's dance and celebrate. What are we waiting for? It is us. It is now. It is for the what's to come. Please visit our websites for more information. Thank you very much.